Do you want to score high marks for the first paper of UGC NET? If you watch this video, you will get a very good understanding about the first concept, which is known as the teaching aptitude. There are 6 components, the fundamentals of teaching, which we all know. In teaching aptitude, you know that there must be a teacher. In order to call somebody a teacher, there must be a learner. 2 components. Then what else we need? We need a syllabus to teach, which is known as a curriculum. Then we need a method of teaching. For example, I'm teaching you using this video. Then there are some factors that will affect our teaching, like low internet connectivity, lack of knowledge, some things like that. And finally, there is an evaluation method. So every teaching has got these 6 components, without which teaching is incomplete. So now we go on to the first concept, which is you, that is teacher. So what are the 5 things we must know about teaching? We must know about the definition of teaching, what are the models of teaching, what are the levels of teaching, objectives of teaching, and methods of teaching. This is known as the fundamentals, the basics. That I want to thank you for being here with me and learning from me. And if you don't know me, my name is Pradeep Hariharan. I am an assistant professor of English. Let's continue with the class. There are 6 principles of teaching. The first one is it's a purposeful activity, which I need not have to tell you. Second one, it is the most important thing in teaching is it is done to bring changes in the learner. 3 types of changes, which is cognitive, psychomotor, and affective. Cognitive means at knowledge level, psychomotor means skill level, and affective means emotional level. So the end of teaching is to make somebody useful for the society. And third one, it's a skillful application of the knowledge from the teacher's part. And the fourth one, teaching is a planned activity. And the fifth one, it is done in a systematic way. There is an institution, there is curriculum, there are timetable, everything. So there is a systematic way. And finally, it is an activity that influences the child to acquire the desirable knowledge to live in a society. So teaching is done with these 6 components in mind, which you already know. I'm just reiterating. And what are the models of teaching? There are 2 basic models of teaching. One is teacher-centered and the other one is learner-centered. You know that. The teacher-centered is known as pedagogy, and the learner-centered, which is more prevalent now, which is known as andragogy. So in a pedagogy, as you know, it's a conventional teacher-centered method. It involves 5-step process, which is preparation, presentation, association, generalization, and application. In generalization, the E is missing. I'm sorry for the spelling error. Fast typing, I missed it. And in andragogy, it's student-centered and self-directed. Here, it is done by self-evaluation done by the student. And teacher, as you know, is a facilitator. And knowledge they learn, something is known as discovery. So this is the more prevalent method right now. And what are the aims of teaching? As I told you, teaching is done to bring behavioral change from the learner. Okay, it is not about imparting knowledge, it is to bring behavioral knowledge, behavioral changes. And there are 4 levels of teaching, which is done for different people. For example, the first one is known as a memory level. Here the goal is to retention and reproduction. This is done at the basic level, the primary level, maybe up to the 4th standard. The only goal of the teacher is to make the students memorize, so rote learning. Then they go on to the 2nd level, which is known as the understanding level of teaching, where they have to, it's about memory plus insight. They have to learn something more. And the reflective level, which happens at the higher education level, where the student, they have to apply the knowledge. So they need memorize, they have to understand it, and they have to apply it. And finally, autonomous, which says that there is no teacher required. So if you look at the 4 levels of teaching, 2 of them are teacher oriented, that is memory and understanding, and the other 2 are student centered. And now we come to the next part, which is known as what are the objectives of teaching. And there are 2 major classifications based on the outcome. Remember, whenever we use the word teaching, it is based on the outcome. We expect something from the student. And the first one is known as the Bloom's classification. Bloom's classification gives importance to 3 things, which is known as the cognitive level, psychomotor, and affective. As I told you, cognitive is to acquiring knowledge, psychomotor is to acquiring skills, and the third one, affective, means to emotional maturity. And Gagne and Briggs, they are another educational psychologist. They say apart from there must be 5 outcomes. They added intellectual, cognitive, verbal, motor, and attitude skills. Again, there is spelling mistake in and. I'm sorry for fast typing. And what are the methods of teaching? There are 3 methods we use for teaching: teacher-centered, mixed strategy, and student-centered strategy. You all know about this. Teacher-centered is about lectures, team teaching, TV. Mixed is about seminar, panel discussion, and learner-centered about assignment, project work, etc. So, in short, this is the basic thing that you have to learn about the teaching. In another, next we will speak about the learner. Before you go, just check your knowledge. 3 questions. First one, match the following: memory level, understanding level, reflective level. Connected with Herbert, Morrison, or Hunt. Sometimes you may wonder, have I said this? If you closely watch, the moment of I am speaking this, I had written the names corresponding to it. So, if you have seriously observed it, you would have known the answer. The answer is, it's correct. Memory level is devised by Herbert, understanding level is by Morrison, reflective by Hunt. So the answer is A in this one. The second one is, it's a question asked in January 2017. Effectiveness of the teaching has to be judged in terms of course coverage, student interest, learning outcome of the students, use of the teaching aids in the classroom. Yeah, I know you got it. The answer is obviously C. And the last question, when the learner is self-directed, it is termed as, is it pedagogical learning, andragogical learning, distance education learning, or none of the above? I know you have mastered it also. It's obviously B, the andragogical learning. Before you leave, I want to say that the real questions for the exam won't be this much easy. This is just to test. So I thank you for staying till the end. All the materials are taken from recent book of Pearson. I have given the description, the link for reference. So until I meet you in the next video, bye-bye.